Thank you.
She is one of the most involved board members I've ever seen. Not just at her credit union, but in the community at large, the credit union community at large, and as well as her community. But yeah, she is the vice chair at Ventura County Credit Union. Um, Again, welcome. You want to give a little more background on yourself and your credit union?
Okay, that sounds awesome. Ventura County Credit Union um, was seg-based when they started for Ventura County employees. And then we did go to a community charter. And when I came on the board in 97, um, I was the only non-Ventura County Credit Union or Ventura County employee. I was the first one that came from the agricultural community here in Ventura County. And I was very proud of that, but I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? A lot to learn naturally. But as time has gone on, we have grown to be very, very diverse in what our board looks like today. Culture has always been a key element with us. I'm going to tell you about 2 years ago, we went ahead and did a survey on what talents does our board currently have? What do we want to go forward with? What do you think we need? And it was very interesting. And so we started going towards those goals and those ideas in mind, which I'm super glad because the bottom line is today, I don't know half of the things technology wise that our 2, 3, 4 members on our board currently do. And I'm grateful for that because things are heading that way very fast. Regulations are changing, and you never know from month to month what's the next around the corner. So Ventura County Credit Union's always tried to be maybe not the first, but second or third to get involved in different community events and where are we and what do we need and how do we keep that trust. Uh,
Mm.
we went out and got more involved in the agricultural community. I saw it firsthand. I adore the people in our ag area because they work very, very hard for their money. They come from an area that don't trust easily. They kept their money all truthfully in the mattress, and it just was a tough way to live. And so, in conjunction with World Council, we went out and uh, got a program together, if you will, that went into the field and said, hey, this is who we are, and this is what we can help you with. And it took some time.
Mhm.
It wasn't profitable, but that's not what it's always about. And so you just need to jump in and do something to help that community.
Mhm.
And I'm super proud that VCCU has done that. So
Yeah.
I could go on for a long time, but I'll leave it at that.
Yes, it's such a credit union to admire because again, it's a larger size credit union. It's in the billion plus club. Um, Yet it still has maintained, excuse me, maintained that credit union spirit, if you will, the original purpose and mission of what we're all here to do. So yeah, I appreciate all that background. We're going to be at the Underground, the Mitchell Stankovic and Associates Underground, October 25th in Las Vegas. Yay!
Yay.
And that's leading up to Money 2020, which is a huge fintech conference that credit unions really need to start getting themselves involved with to see the technology that's here, the technology that will be here tomorrow, and try to keep ahead of pace, at least on pace with where their technology needs to be. So we even have a credit union track this year, which again is part of the influence that Sue is able to wield, shall we say, Sue Mitchell. And yeah, so explain this the significance to you of credit unions becoming more involved in the Money 2020 conference.
Uh, the education that's needed at a board level has tripled, and it's done it pretty darn fast. and trying to keep up with it is a job and a half. Um, Fintechs have their place. There's no doubt about it. For a board, for at least our board, we're trying to figure out the balance between having all of the technology and the younger folks that want the technology, but they also want that brick and mortar. And they want to be able once a year even to go in and go, hey, something's wrong, or can you help me, or I'm ready to buy a house, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You got to be educated in this stuff. There's the trust level that our members expect from us. And when you get into something as complicated as technology for us farmers, if you will, you've got to spend a lot of time understanding, and you got to find the right partners to get with and say, okay, here's where I am, this is what we need, tell me about this more, and spend some time in it. It's not always easy, but it's required. You just can't, to keep the trust of our membership, uh, and reputational risk and all of the other things that go along with it. The boards have to spend some time and education, and it's hard, but you got to do it. Or
Or yes, exactly. Some of the credit unions we're seeing merge away, as a lot of it is because they haven't kept up with the technology. For sure. So yeah, your panel at the Underground is going to be called FinTech Governance with Old School Flair. Can you tell me a little bit more about the idea of the panel and the message that you want to get across?
um, you can teach old dogs new tricks if they're open to it and receptive to it. And you don't have to understand everything right away, but be aware of what you want to learn. Know what your members are asking for. Is it possible? Is it not possible? Um, Look at the risk aspect of it. I'm more on the old school, but we've got board members that we're learning from every meeting. We have a governance um, area in our board meeting. It can go for 10 minutes or it can go for an hour, but it's concentrated on questions and ideas and thoughts, and where we're learning from our new board members and asking those old flair questions.
Mhm.
And I just can't push the education enough. Even if in your budget you need to add $5,000 to be able to go sit, learn, communicate with other people. It's super important because your members are, I've got 80,000 members that are counting on me to understand what's going to happen. And do we want to take the risk now? Are we ready? What's our IT department look like? We need more cybersecurity? What is it that we need? And board members have a real job on their hands anymore. You just don't go to a meeting for an hour and have dinner and you go home. It's much more than that.
Yes, and credit unions are much more than they were then too. Being able to reach more people through technology and the complicated regulatory environment. Um, so what your credit union do? How do you feel like what your credit union does ties in with the underground?
We've done some real major overhaul in our systems, in our
Mhm.
IT department. We probably, mm, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but that is where we spend the majority of our budget time, is in that department. Uh, whether it's breaches, whether it's bigger than that, whether it's the fraud aspect, um, those people out there that are attacking the financial industry are super smart, much more smarter than I am. And so we have proactively put together, if you will, a task force. And the majority of it is operational, but we have a board member sit in on all the meetings who has input, brings it back to us in the board meetings and said, hey, this is what we're talking about. This is where we think we need to move. What do you as a board want to know about it?
Mm.
And we take some time. We take, 2 or 3 hours if we need to, or call in on a Saturday and talk about it, because it's such a risk, but it
Mm.
is required anymore. You
Risk not to do it, right?
yeah, so much so. So
Yeah.
we take it slow, it's toes, before we get the whole foot in, but eventually we totally understand what we're talking about or they're talking about and go forward with it.
Yeah, yeah. And so you alluded to earlier, and just in this last question, the evolution of the credit union boards. Now, I've personally had the opportunity, and it was a wonderful learning experience to serve on the board of my credit union and literally watch the evolution happen to where, from where I was the youngest by decades in my 30s to now where we have a much more diverse board in every which way that you can imagine. And what we talk about became completely different, and the
Mhm.
way we talked about it became completely different, in a more forward-looking way, really. So when I moved from Maryland to South Carolina last year, I was ready to leave the board. It was ready. It didn't need me anymore. I was the problem child to start with. um, and yeah, I feel like because of understanding either takes background in the industry like mine or the constant education of everybody staying on top of things. And it's so many different things. It's the regulatory environment, it's the political environment, it's the legislative environment, it's you know um, the hiring environment, whether you can find people with the skills that you want. And so there's a lot of things that credit unions and their boards are facing more at a strategic level, as far as like bringing people on for your tech department with the right skills. So what are your thoughts on the evolution of the board?
It's amazing,
Mhm.
truthfully amazing. And a lot of boards haven't been able to make that transition yet. Um, we're much more than just a group of people getting together and discussing where our credit union uh, would like to go. It's about where we need to go. And so on your boards, you need to have people, volunteers, who have the same desires as wanting to help the community, seeing the needs that are out there, being able to react to um, not a board meeting, but a phone call. Hey, we've just had this fire go through this area. CEO wants to do this. How fast can we put this together? Yes, go. What do you need from us?
Mhm.
You need to be able to be thinking outward and not so much about, well, what was our deposit rate this month?
Yeah,
It's much more
right.
complicated. And it is super hard to find those people anymore. People's lives are busy. Um, you have a list that you go through and you go, okay, we need this, we need that. We've got plenty of this. Uh, to pinpoint is a need is always a problem. And then finding that person that wants to dedicate their time. I
Mm.
have several people that I've talked to about it, and they go, what do you mean you don't get paid? I'm not, why would I do that? There's different thinking today than there was 10, 5 years ago, maybe even. And as people's lives get busier and their kids and soccer and piano and all the things that go along, they think family first, which you can't blame them for that. But we got to find those special people. You have to dig. You have to propose it properly. You have to say, why not? And I
Mm.
think you'll find that board members who sit on the credit union boards may also sit on the fire department boards or another nonprofit, because that's where their heart is. But you've got to get the right people, and that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
It's a same scenario for almost all the credit unions, whether you're big or whether you're small. Um, I have a heart for the small ones because the big ones have already made it up. When I came on the board, we were like 300,000, and we have made stride. Oh, in assets, I'm
300 million.
300 million.
Yes. Okay.
Too many zeros. Um, so it does take some time, but we learned also that when you hit 8 billion, that all the regulations change again. The boards are more responsible. You need more education. You need more time to really sit down and know what it is. And you're starting at the bottom again
Mm-hmm.
and going up. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it takes time, and it takes knowledge and education, and it takes the people with the right heart,
Mm-hmm.
because
Absolutely.
you want to keep what you've got going because that's what helped make you. But you have to look out there. We always talk about, oh, we're going to go 3 years out. Sometimes you got to go 5 years out, and that crystal ball is just cloudy. It's like the
Mhm.
fog rolling in on the coast. And uh, you just got to be open-minded and keep your heart to the people and to the membership in your community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the whole wildfire thing. I mean, I know it does affect the credit unions out in that area in California and elsewhere. There's other natural disasters, but yeah, that's one thing where you get a call on a Friday night at 2 a.m. or whatever. It's like we got to roll. And that's exactly what credit unions should be doing, being with their members at the time that they need them and being available and offering the solutions. And that's a huge impact that credit unions can have on their communities. Like you guys are going, you mentioned in the ag fields and serving people and that's need financial education and wellness, stability, and need to learn to trust eventually the financial institutions as well. Um, the and the underground sue drives so much impact in the entire credit union space. From launching the Global Women's Leadership Network and the underground's role in launching CU Pride, and now we've got CUS, the Credit Union Shared Services Model, and you know, how do you feel this is going to have impact in the community and credit union community, and particularly the small to mid-sized credit unions?
I hope it's a huge success.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the larger credit unions owe it to what do I want to say, to the industry, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
to help bring this to fruition, to help bring our smaller credit unions up. Those are tired warriors who
Mm-hmm.
continue to push forward no matter what. And why do we sit on our laurels and say, oh gosh, I wonder what I can do? Well, there's a lot that we can do as larger credit unions to help these people. They're reaching people that we can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line.
Yep.
And we need to support them as much as we can. And I've heard, oh, we can try this, or we can try that, or we can do this. But let's put the action, Sue's, get shit done. Well, that's
Yeah.
out of frustration, half partly, but it's true. Let's do it. Let's finally do it. I think she's got the backing of an amazing group of people
Mm-hmm.
who have learned, who she's taught, she's shown the industry. Hey, these people are who they are and they're willing to help. So come on, get on board with this. Let's do what we can do and stabilize our credit union industry so
Mm-hmm.
the takeovers don't happen, so they can become profitable, so we can give back to our members, whether our little farming community out in the middle of nowhere, or whether it's border towns that have need those kinds of credit unions, um, people need to get behind us.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know every detail, have trust that this is going to go forward. It's going to help our industry. It's going to help the members. It's going to help people in the US and Mexico
Mm-hmm.
can be carried over to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Let's just not sit around anymore and go, hmm.
Yeah, and the mergers in the first quarter of this year were more than last year, 5 of the last 6 years. I was just looking at that this morning. And so that's scary, especially considering that's a larger proportion of credit unions, and most of them are those smaller credit unions that are getting uh, getting worn out by everything. Like you said, they're warriors in their niches, and doing something to support them, not just give even or give it education. One of the things that is huge and why mergers sometimes happen is because the CEO has no retirement plan. And that's just, I mean, honestly, it's not a great thing for having a large the merger the surviving credit union. It's not a good thing for them to be buying out the CEO. At the same time, that board is responsible. Another area where boards really need to keep up is compensation. That board is responsible to its members to make sure its employees have what they need first, financial wellness for them first, because they are members. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm going to get off my soapbox now. So, while at the underground, what are you looking forward to hearing from the other credit union people?
I love the underground. I love it. I love it. I love it. We go to other educational conferences, but to hear people explain the challenges they have in this safe space called the underground, and to learn, gosh, they've got the same issues as we do. Let's talk to them. Let's see why they changed their name. Let's see why they've changed their charter. Let's talk to them a little bit more. Hey, maybe we can offer some ideas for them to go out and help people of modest means. We've got
Mhm.
this, we're all one.
Mhm.
There is no competition in helping our members. That should be number one and foremost in every board's mind.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk to the CEOs. Let's just get out there and have this uh, period of time. I remember underground, we used to be 2 hours. And
Yeah.
so this is not enough time. And so
Mhm.
last year, I believe it was, we had a full 8, 10 hours. And I'm like, yes, awesome. This is what we now need. Life is complicated. Credit unions have gotten complicated. Let's not lose anymore. It's an open forum that you can speak honestly about, and hopefully the politics don't get in the way, and hopefully the regulations, what do we want? How can we make regulations easier? It's not going to get easier. It's going to get more complicated. But if we all stick together on some of the issues going forward, we're tough. We're good people. People will listen to us. But to get together under one roof, whether it's DC or Vegas, is just an amazing
Mm.
party, if you will. Because there's so much that happens.
It's
And
a mission party.
yes, yeah, yeah. And it feeds the soul a little bit, because if you're being drugged down and day after day, if you're a CEO, you're sweeping the parking lot sometimes, or moving the snow, whatever you might do. You just need a little pickup here and there, and underground provides that, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah, it sells you your soul back, kind of. What I feel like.
Yeah.
So, I was going to ask you why you're a supporter, but I think you already tackled that one. How would you sell it to somebody who was considering attending?
Number one, it's not going to break the bank or your budget, if you will. It's very reasonable. For what you get out of it, openness, honesty, which is a commodity that is,
Rare.
thank you.
Rare these days, yeah.
Yes. But you're meeting the people, having sympathy for those that need a little help up. I mean, that's what we're about, this whole credit union movement, and have been. And we're responsible for helping each other. It's
Mhm.
no different than your neighborhood.
Mhm.
Go, bring your boards, bring your boards. It's going to open their vision, their ideas, their imagination. They're going to go, oh, I heard about that. I understand that better now than before.
Mhm.
And maybe a regulator has explained something in a different way that you had an issue with, and they're able to help you talk about it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Sit around the table. Don't just go off on your own. Talk to people to
Mhm.
know what's going on in their area. Um, it's invaluable for me. I've kind of been around since they started. Um, I'm urging Sue to, she did uh, a get together with just boards during the pandemic, and
Mhm.
it was amazing. You know, what keeps you up at night? All the signs went up, and you're like, oh my gosh, this the majority of us are worried about this or worried about that. Uh, CEO compensation. Let's talk about that because it's kind of all over the board. You know,
Mhm.
how do you assign the goals? What percentages are you using? Where do you try to keep your CEO's compensation at? Where do you
Mhm.
get your numbers for evaluating the compensation around the world, if you will?
Mhm.
It's it's just a great place to go to have a good time talking about your impact on the industry.
And explaining those kind of operational complications that you don't necessarily see at a strategic level when you have a strategic imperative from the board. But this also gives you the opportunity, like Cuss, for example, to see the operational side and understand better why they say, "Oh, this is taking time," or longer than we expected. And so I think that kind of little educational piece is very influential in how you think about the credit union, because while you're not in the operations as a board member, it's how you think about why things may or may not be happening, not because somebody isn't supporting the idea.
A better understanding of what's going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to influence it, you don't have to talk about it, but you can ask questions and
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, now I understand. Okay, then you vote better.
And again, that is a lot of the technology that is holding people back from doing stuff. So go to Money 2020 and the underground.
Get educated in a fun way.
Yeah. Alrighty, so as we wrap up, I always give my guests the final thoughts. What do you want to leave our credit union audience with?
Oh my gosh, we need to be here to stay. All of us, every single one of us. um, us being the credit unions, us being the boards. Always have your eyes open about who you might work with, who your neighbor is, who's on the fire department or the police department that might want to come in and give a different aspect of it. Bring in speakers if you want to. Learn more about cannabis. Maybe someday down the road, we'll be able to help that industry. Your farm workers, I mean, we're being attacked. And let's get out there and help those people, stabilize them, help them trust the credit union when they don't trust others. They're afraid to go out of their house. They're afraid to take the kids to school. Let's see what we can do to help them.
Mhm.
We have an organization here in town that they pay for agricultural workers laundry to be done. The laundromat has said, hey, come on in between 8 a.m. in the morning on Saturday and 7 p.m. It's all free. Come in and do your lunch. Gosh, the credit union pays for half of what's done.
Mm-hmm.
As part of, think basic.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be complicated. Our organizations are, but we've got a good staff under us. Trust them.